Ashley was plating salmon when I walked in. The whole place smelled like lemon and butter, the good kind. She had candles going, my favorite playlist low, and that glow people get when a door finally opens for them. Big news, she said without turning. Don't ruin it with your sarcasm. I haven't said a word. Exactly. Keep it that way for 10 seconds. She set the dishes down like we were in some TV commercial. I got it. The job. I hugged her, actually happy. You earned it. Say it again. You earned it. She grinned, tapped my chest with a wooden spoon, left a fleck of dill near the pocket. For a second it felt easy. We clinked glasses. She told me about her manager, the team, projects, all of it running out of her like a dam finally gave up. I listened, asked questions, refilled her glass once. If I'd known where it was headed, I would tell Miguel later. I would have saved the candles and made sandwiches. But that night I was in. I cleared the plates, she leaned on the counter, and I told her I was proud of her. I mean it, proud. If there was a sign of trouble in that kitchen, it was small enough to hide behind the pepper grinder. Week 1, she was home a little later, nothing crazy. Week 2, I was eating alone. Week 3, the dinners started living in the microwave. The first time she rolled in after 10, I didn't make a speech. I heated her plate, handed it over. Long day, she said, kicking off flats near the door. How long? Don't start. I asked a question. Back-to-back meetings. Ramps. Onboarding. You know. Ramps. Please don't mock the lingo. I took her bag to the chair, left it there. Your choice. I'll just check you're alive if it hits midnight. That necessary? She bit into salmon like it had insulted her. Until it isn't. The next night, I set my alarm for 11:30 and didn't need it. She texted at 10:40, don't wait up. That's all. No extra line, no heart. I stared at the blue bubble longer than I should have. I did what I always do when a line gets fuzzy. I put a stake in the ground. In the morning, I slid my mug across and kept my voice steady. I'm shifting my evenings. Congratulations. I'm moving my workouts to 7. I'll eat early. If you're around, join. If not, we meet in the morning like roommates. Drama much? Boundaries aren't drama. Fine. She snagged her keys. First month is intense. Understood. First month is not a hall pass for disappearing. She paused by the door, half smile. I'll survive your rules. And I'll survive your schedule. At work, Miguel raised an eyebrow when I mentioned it. He's the type who chews a toothpick like it owes him money. You worried? I'm not worried. I'm observant. Same thing with better shoes. That Tuesday she texted at 9, presentation exploded. Staying late. I sent back, got it. Lock up when you're in. She read it, no reply. Thursday, she walked in at nearly 11, hair pinned like she'd wrestled a gust of wind and lost. She was wired, not tired. Hungry? I asked, not moving from the couch. A little. In the fridge. She opened it, stared, closed it. You didn't wait. I don't wait for ghosts. She laughed like I'd made a dad joke. You're adorable when you pretend to be tough. I'm not pretending, Ashley. I moved my life because you moved yours. That's called meeting in the middle. Great. Then we're good. Define good. She tossed the keys in the bowl, missed, didn't pick them up. I need you not to interrogate me when I walk in. Then walk in like you live here, not like you borrowed the place. She stepped closer, chin up. Back off. I leaned back. Done. We'll talk this weekend. Can't. Team brunch. Of course. She was out of the house by 8 on Saturday. I took the truck and headed to my buddy Dan's workshop to help him hang cabinet doors. It's loud there. Saws, radio, Dan's bass laugh, and I wanted noise. Around noon, Ashley texted a selfie with coworkers at a patio table. Caption, survivors of onboarding. She looked good. She also looked out of reach. Dan wiped sawdust from his forearms. You okay, Mark? Yep. Hanging doors. World's straightest hinges. He studied me like the board he was about to cut. You're not a hinge guy. Today I am. Talk to her. I did. She hears me just fine. And I'm moving my life. She can keep up or wave from a distance. 2 weeks in, I implemented Rule 2. Separate calendars. Shared budget split. I didn't ask permission. At breakfast, I slid a printed sheet across the table. My schedule. Yours can live next to it or across town. Either way, I'm not guessing. She skimmed it. You made a spreadsheet. Clarity's cheaper than confusion. She exhaled through her nose. I could use help on Wednesday nights if I'm late. You'll have it. I'm moving my mother's weekly call to Tuesday, and I'll handle the lawn and the trash no matter what. But I'm not your valet. If you plan to be late, Say it by 5. If you don't, I'm not rearranging anything. Are you punishing me for getting a life? I'm adjusting to the one you chose. You don't like my coworkers. I haven't met your coworkers. Exactly. She leaned forward like she was about to say something kind. It caught me off guard. Listen, she went on, softer. It's a sprint. I'm sorry if I've been sharp. I'm stressed. I'm not trying to push you out. All right. She put a hand on mine. I appreciate you handling more at home. I mean it. I hear you. I didn't move my hand. She smiled like she'd just won something small. I'll be home by 8 tonight. We can, I don't know, watch something. Text if that changes. It won't. It changed. 9:40, the same blue bubble. Going long, don't wait. No apology. I didn't text back. I shut the lights, double-locked, and slept in the guest room. That was rule 3. Space follows respect. Sunday morning, she found me folding sheets. What's this? New sleeping plan. Because I got home late once? Because once became always. So you punish me with distance? I answer distance with distance. She set her jaw. You're being rigid. I'm being clear. She stared like she could outwill me. Fine. Keep your planet. I will. She grabbed her gym bag and slammed the closet door. And then, like a switch flipped, she cracked it open again. At lunch, she brought home tacos and set them down without a word. Peace offering, she said. I'll eat them. I know you will. She smirked, but she stayed at the counter and asked about Dan's cabinets, about Miguel's kids, about my mother's knee. She laughed at the right spots. It felt like a thaw, and I let 80% of my guard drop. That was my mistake. The thaw lasted exactly until Monday. By week 4, her tone changed from cold to amused. I caught it the first time when I asked about Friday. Friday, she echoed. What do you need, a hall pass? I need to know if we're doing dinner or if I book something. Book something. You can manage a meal without me, right? Always have. And the guest room suits you? It does. She made a little drum roll on the table. So we're aligned. We're adjacent. She rolled her eyes. Same difference. On Wednesday, she called at 5:30. That was new. Don't cook, she said. We've got a team happy hour, and I don't want to waste food. No problem. She added, you could come. I paused. You're inviting me to happy hour with your team. Casual. No speeches. Meet people. Stop painting monsters. A laugh that wasn't a laugh. And my boss will be there. You'll like him. That the one who thought your portfolio was refreshingly direct. So you do listen. I listen to the words that change a home. Then come. It'll be good for us. I agreed. Not because I believed in some magic fix, but because facing a fog works better than debating it in the kitchen. The place was a downtown hotel ballroom rented out for the quarter's kickoff. Not a bar, a production. String lights, high tables, a DJ who thought volume equaled energy. I wore a gray blazer and clean boots, nothing flashy. Ashley looked sharp, black dress, hair done with care I hadn't seen in weeks. She laced fingers with mine as we walked in, and for 10 steps it felt normal. Mark, this is Tanya, she started, tugging me through a circle. And Kyle. And this is Leonard. He's the head. Leonard was late 50s, smile a touch too polished, hand a touch too light. He gave a firm hello like he'd practiced it. We're lucky to have Ashley, he said. She's good, I replied. She is, he repeated, eyes staying on me 2 seconds longer than needed. You in finance? Construction management. Permits, timelines, making sure people don't drive forklifts through drywall. He chuckled. We could use that. Everyone could, I said. Ashley pinballed us around. Names, roles, little stories designed to show she belonged. I kept up, polite, no jokes that would land wrong. Then she loosened her grip and drifted toward a knot of colleagues. Back in a sec, she tossed over her shoulder. A server passed with sliders. I took one, found a chair near the back, and let the room do what rooms do, show patterns. Ashley laughed too loud at something Leonard said. He touched her elbow in that friendly way bosses touch elbows. She didn't flinch. She checked her phone twice, never once looked my way. A woman I'd never met sat 2 chairs down, checked me, checked the room, checked me again. Early 30s, calm blouse, no theater. She had the gaze of someone who knows how to read a map and doesn't mind being the only person holding it. You with Ashley? She asked, not coy, not sharp. I am. She's your wife. She is. She nodded once. Step outside with me? Why? Because in there is noise and in here, she tapped the side of her head, is a conversation I don't want to have over a DJ. I waited a second, then stood. Outside, the evening had that thin chill that wakes you faster than coffee. We stood near a planter. The city hummed, indifferent. She looked at the ground, then at me. I'm Claire. I work with her. I'm sorry to be the bearer. Of what? News you didn't ask for. You're climbing a hill either way. Just do it. Your wife? She's been close with Leonard. She paused as if testing the strength of each word. Not mentorship close. I kept my face steady. Say the part you're trying not to say. They leave together. They arrive together after lunch. Last week I walked in on a hug that wasn't a hug in his office. Could be a friendly culture. This isn't friendly. I'm not labeling it. I'm describing conduct. I thought you should know. Why tell me? Because I watched you sit alone for an hour while she introduced you to her boss, and then forgot you existed. Because I don't like double games. And because I'm tired of pretending my silence makes me classy. You have proof. I do. She pulled her phone, thumbed through, handed it to me. Photos. Ashley and Leonard shoulder to shoulder in a doorway nobody uses, her head near his neck. Ashley and Leonard stepping out of his car mid-afternoon. Ashley smoothing her dress inside his office with the blinds half down. No kisses, no theatrics. Just proximity that made sense only if you already knew the end of the sentence. I handed the phone back. My hand felt like it belonged to the building, not me. I'm going to walk back in there, I said. Don't. She put a palm up. Don't give her a stage. If you want out, get out. Don't give her a chance to turn it into your temper. My temper doesn't do pirouettes in ballrooms. Good. Then go home. When you're ready, file your papers. You're direct. I like quiet lives. This isn't one. Why help me? Because I watched your face in that chair. You weren't angry. You were counting the ways to defend her. That's the kind of man who ends up paying twice. What do you want from me? Nothing. Maybe to know there's one less lie in my office tomorrow. All right. I can give you a ride, she offered, keys already in hand. It's fine. It's raining in an hour, and cabs will be scarce. She was already walking toward the garage. Come on. I won't bite. The car was clean, the kind of clean that means someone likes order. We drove in silence for 4 blocks. You live far? She asked. 10 minutes. You don't have to explain anything to me. I wasn't planning on it. I respect that. At a red light, she turned slightly. For what it's worth, I told Ashley she was playing with fire. She smiled like I was jealous. You jealous? Of your wife's choices? No. I cracked a smile in spite of myself. Fair. She dropped me off. I gave her my number before she asked. In case I need to ask you about logistics. In case you need a straight answer. She typed it, saved it, looked up. Take your time. And don't text her tonight. Let the silence do its job. You sound like my older sister. I sound like someone who's seen this movie. I went inside. The house had that late night quiet you only notice when you're sober and the road noise is slow. I put Ashley's key on the hall table, changed, sat on the edge of the guest bed, stared at the framed photo of us in Maine. I took it down and put it on the closet shelf. Not rage. Organization. Ashley came in at 1:30. She moved like she didn't want to trip on the truth. The next morning neither of us mentioned that I'd left early. She buttered toast, I poured coffee, and the silence was an agreement we didn't sign but both understood. I called a lawyer after lunch. I didn't dramatize it. I handed him the pattern and the photos. He nodded like he'd seen that pattern before. Don't announce, he said. File. When you have a court date, we tell her the day of with papers in hand. Until then, say nothing. No fights. No confessions. No threats. Live clean. I'm good at clean. If she comes at you, keep your sentences short. I'm excellent at short. He gave me a list. Bank accounts. House deed. Inventory. I made copies, drove to a UPS store, mailed what needed mailing. Practical beats poetic every day of the week. Claire texted me that evening. You okay? I stared at the screen and surprised myself with a yes. She asked for nothing else. Over the next week we texted about honest things. Work. Traffic. Her neighbor's cat that treats her balcony like a club. She asked about my truck's rattle. I asked about her favorite takeout near my street. We met for coffee once in the afternoon, in daylight, in a place where no one stares at anyone. We talked like grown-ups and left like grown-ups. At home, Ashley's respect kept shrinking in public and growing in apology right after. She tried to test me at dinner on Tuesday. Leonard asked if you were the jealous type, she said, forking lettuce. What did you say? I said you're steady to a fault. Steady doesn't mean blind. She smirked. If you were blind, You wouldn't have moved into the guest room. You're observant. You're petty. Not petty. Predictable. She tilted her head. Maybe we should reset. I can take Friday night off. We don't do resets for sport. I'll cook. Your favorite. We can start over. That trick works when you didn't break the table. You're boring when you're noble. And you're loud when you're cornered. Her eyes chilled. Don't accuse me of anything. I didn't use a label. I used an observation. She stabbed at a crouton. You think something's wrong. That's your problem. It stopped being my problem when you made it ours. Then fix it, she snapped. I am. That night she slipped into the guest room with the voice she used when she wanted something. I miss us, she said, hand on my shoulder. You miss access. I miss us. We can schedule a conversation Thursday at 7. 20 minutes. You talk, I talk. After that, this room is mine. You make everything paperwork. Because paperwork leaves less room for acting. She tried small kindness the next day. Texted me midday that she'd thought about what I said. Left a note on the counter. Picked up your favorite coffee beans. It was the second illusion, and I treated it like a pretty postcard. Nice to look at. Not a contract. Thursday came, and with it, her company's quarterly party. Not the happy hour. Bigger, shinier. She invited me again, this time with a little bow in her voice. Come tonight, she said. It would mean a lot. To whom? To me. You sure? I want you there. All right. We walked in together, and for the first 10 minutes, she played the part. She introduced me with the right words. This is Mark, she told people. He's the reason the house doesn't fall apart. People nodded, said the lines people say. You're lucky, a woman with red lipstick told Ashley. Ashley smiled and squeezed my elbow. It felt like the first illusion had grown teeth. Then, mid-conversation, she spotted Leonard and gave me a look I didn't like. Back in a sec, she said. Define SEC. She was already gone. I sat. I watched. I didn't chase. 20 minutes later, I tried to find her. I scanned the room for black dress and careful hair. She was at a side table with Leonard and 2 others, laughing at something that had nothing to do with me. I waited at a respectful distance. She didn't notice. I debated my options. That's when Claire found me. She stood like a lighthouse everyone pretends isn't there. You okay? Define okay. Let's step out. Her tone wasn't a suggestion. It was a lifeline she wasn't going to keep holding if I wanted to sink. We went outside and she laid out the facts again, this time with the weight they deserved. She showed me what she tried to say with polite words. The photos were enough to convince a monk. I'm going to walk back in there, I told her, pulse steady. I'm going to ask her a single question. Not 2. Don't. If I don't, I'll hear her version for a month. If you do, you'll hand her a crowd. Then help me with the other version. What do you need? Your number stays open. If she tries to rewrite, I may ask when, where, who stood nearby. I won't quote you. I'll just know. You'll have it, she said. And then I'm going to my lawyer. In the morning. Good. She drove me home again. This time I asked about her. She grew up in Idaho, hates loose ends, bakes on Sundays because it calms her. She likes quiet men. I told her I'm quiet until I'm not. And when I'm not, rules change. Good, she said. Rules should change when respect does. She pulled up at my curb. Text me if you need anything. I will. And Mark. Yeah. You're not crazy. I know. I walked in, put my phone face down, and slept a full night. If that surprises you, it shouldn't. Nothing cleans a mind like a plan laid flat. In the morning, I filed. No ceremony. No speeches. I gave the lawyer the photos. He took them like they were receipts. We'll serve next week, he said. Keep your head down until then. Done. Claire and I grabbed coffee that afternoon. We talked about neutral things again, then not so neutral. She looked at me over her cup. I like how you're handling this. Not a lot of screaming. That's exactly why. I like how you told me the worst thing a person can tell a person without making it about you. That's because it wasn't about me. When I got home, Ashley was already there, phone in hand, tone breezy. Busy, she asked. Always. I was thinking we could take a weekend soon. Somewhere close. Reset. No weekend. You don't decide alone. I do when I'm footing the bill and the respect. She blinked. You think you're better than me now? No. I think I'm better than this. Her mouth tightened. I'll be late again tonight. Quarter end. Good luck. You don't even ask what I'm doing. I don't interrogate strangers. She grabbed her bag and left. That night, I didn't check the time. When the papers were ready, I waited like my lawyer told me. Calm, boring, in control. I didn't dig for extra evidence. I didn't test. I didn't play amateur investigator. I went to work, worked, went home, made dinner for myself, slept in the guest room, texted Claire about traffic and cats, and sometimes nothing at all. If that sounds cold, that's because warmth goes to where it's earned. The day came. I made coffee, did push-ups, showered. I had the envelope on the counter. When Ashley walked in that afternoon, heels clicking like a metronome, I handed it to her without ceremony. "What's this?" she asked. "You'll see." She tore it open. "Read. Read again." Looked up. "You're serious." "Completely." "You didn't even talk to me." "I talked. You were busy." She tossed the papers on the island like they might burn her fingers. "So that's it. You're quitting." "I'm concluding. You know what this means for me." "I do. I'll need half. You'll need a calculator." She barked a short laugh. "You're not that smart, Mark. I'm smart enough to keep the house I bought before we married and the accounts with my name on them. I'm smart enough to not fight in the kitchen. You won't get anyone better than me." "That's a you thought. You can't do this to me. I'm not doing anything to you. I'm ending something you already ended." She studied me like she'd never seen me. "You planned this behind my back. I planned it in front of your choices. I should have expected you'd run." "I don't run. I open doors. I'm not leaving." She said it like a dare. "You are. Today." She stared at me, testing. I didn't blink. I stepped toward the hall closet, pulled down the overnight bag, put it on the table. "You can take what's yours and come back Saturday with someone to get the rest. I'll be here. I'll unlock. I won't argue. You won't throw me out of my home." "This is my house," I said even. "You're leaving today." She squared her shoulders. "Fine." She swept into the bedroom. I heard drawers, hangers, the small sounds of a life being condensed. She came out with the bag and a coat over her arm. She stopped in the doorway. "You think you're the hero," she said. "I think I'm a man with a spine." She flicked her hair like punctuation. "You'll regret this." "I don't do regret. I do recall." I opened the door. "Goodbye, Ashley." She walked out with her head high and her eyes colder than the sidewalk. The door closed. The click felt like the only applause I needed. I texted Claire, "It's done." She responded in seconds. "Proud of you. When can I see you?" "Tonight," I wrote. She came over with a bag of groceries and a bottle of sparkling water, because that's what people bring when they're not trying to fog a room. We cooked. We talked. We didn't overcomplicate it. After dinner, she leaned on the counter. "Maybe," she said, "we can stop pretending we're just friends." I smiled. "You're reading my thoughts." She stayed. In the morning, we ate eggs and toast like people who chose each other on purpose. It felt clean. It felt earned. No fireworks, no soundtrack, just quiet, steady light. Days turned into weeks. Ashley didn't text. She didn't call. The papers moved the way papers move, through hands, across desks. She fought for things she thought would materialize out of thin air. They didn't. We signed, notarized, mailed. I changed my locks the day the last envelope was stamped. I changed my schedule without asking anyone. Claire and I built from the ground up. I showed her the part of town with the diner that still makes pancakes like it's 1987. She showed me her hobby of photographing really ugly buildings, because someone has to love them. We laughed more in a month than I had laughed in a year. I fixed the truck's rattle. She brought over a plant and put it by the window like she intended to stay. She did. 6 months later, I walked out of my side office at lunch and nearly bumped into a ghost. Ashley was standing by the curb, hair pulled back like she was trying to look smaller. "Mark," she started. "What do you need?" My tone wasn't cruel. It was a closed door. I made a mistake." "Which one?" "All of it." She wiped under one eye. "I lost." She caught herself. "I'm not with Leonard anymore. Things ended. I left the company." "Okay. I've had time to think. We were good once. We can be again." "No. You won't even hear me out?" "I did. For months. You were busy." I was stupid. She reached for my sleeve and didn't touch it. "Just coffee. 1 hour. Please." "No." She stiffened. "You don't have to be cruel." "I'm not. I'm clear. I'm hurting. I hope you find help." "You don't even care that I care enough to wish you well very far from me." "I can change," she pushed. "You already did. That was the problem." She swallowed. "You'll be alone." I shook my head. "Not even close." Who is she? Bitter. Someone who tells the truth when it hurts. Ashley looked at the ground, then at me. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I believe you," I said. "And it changes nothing. Please, don't come here again." I took a step back. "We're finished." She stood there as I walked to my truck. As I pulled away, she tried one last line. Something about losing her job, about the boss dropping her. I didn't turn. There's mercy in not dragging a scene beyond the point it already ended. That night, I told Claire. We were on my porch eating takeout and stealing fries from each other because that's what couples do, even the disciplined ones. She came to my work. I said, I'm sorry. I'm not. It was clean. Claire nodded. You look lighter. I am. For the first time in a long time. She lifted her water. To clean endings. To earn beginnings, I added. We touched glasses and didn't need music. A year later, here's my life. I wake in a house that feels like it knows my name. The grass gets cut on Saturdays because I like straight lines, not because someone will nag me if I don't. The truck runs smooth. There's a second helmet in the garage because Claire likes riding shotgun when we head to the lake at dawn. Miguel and his wife come over on Sundays. He still brings the same cheap chips, and I still mock him for it. Dan calls me when a cabinet refuses to obey. Work is steady. I got a promotion that actually meant something. More responsibility because I earned it, not because I played politics. I started mentoring a kid on my crew who reminds me of me before I understood the cost of silence. We talk about deadlines and about telling the truth even when it doesn't make you look noble. Claire moved in 2 months ago. No speeches, just boxes. We keep our carts separate at the grocery store and then laugh because they look identical. She texts me during the day with photos of ugly buildings, and I send back the best one-liners I can manage. At night, we cook or we eat out or we don't bother and make sandwiches. It's not exciting in the way people think excitement is. It's something else. It's grown. Do I think about Ashley? Rarely. When I do, it's not in anger. It's in the same way you remember a street you used to take because your GPS didn't know better. I heard from a friend of a friend that she bounced between jobs for a while, that the next place didn't work out either, that the story never changed, only the names. I don't cheer for that. I don't cheer at all. I note it. I keep walking. If there's a lesson here, and I hate lessons, it's simple. You don't fight for a seat at a table where the host forgot to set a place for you. You don't argue with someone's ambition when it requires you to shrink. You set your own table. You lay out your own plates. You invite the people who show up on time and bring something better than excuses. When Ashley left, she took her coats and her shoes and the echo of her schedule. What she lost was different. The comfort of a man who would move mountains for her and then act like it was just cardio. The door closed. She discovered the hard truth that doors close forever when someone like me pulls them shut. That's not spite. That's maintenance. So no, I didn't win by out-talking her. I won by ending the conversation. I didn't storm out. I escorted myself to the exit, head up, hands clean. And when she came back months later with a story, I kept it short. Because that's the thing about respect. You don't negotiate it on a dance floor, or in a hallway, or in a kitchen with plates cooling on the counter. You enforce it. Then you live in the quiet house you built, the one where the lock clicks soft at night, where the person across the table looks you in the eye and tells the truth, even when it's heavy. That's all I ever wanted. Turns out it was waiting exactly where the noise ended.